Okay. Thank you.
The following is a presentation of WCTV.
It is in the end zone for an unbelievable touchdown. From the Gridiron on Grandview and Art Wright Stadium, welcome to week number 8 of the Ohio High School Athletic Association's football season. It is homecoming, and there is excitement in this Friday night as many alumni have returned to take in this game, celebrate and reminisce with old friends. And oh yes, there's quite a bit of buzz about this Grizzly football team. Tonight, it's a Suburban League National Conference matchup as the Grizzlies welcome the Bulldogs. And hello once again, folks. My name is Mike Elkins, along with my partner tonight, Eric Shriver. And Eric, the Bulldogs are 1-6 on the season. They are 1-3 in conference play. Their lone win coming against the North Royalton Bears last week, who, by the way, are only 1-6 on the season. Now, the Grizzlies over the last 2 weeks, 2 huge statement wins over the Hudson Explorers, a 19-13 victory, shutting out Hudson in the second half. The defense came to play. The offense came to play in the second half, controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides. And, boy, last weekend, an incredible performance by the Bulldogs and just slowing down that powerful Nordonia Knights high-octane offense. And, again, the second half, the offensive and defensive line just dominated the Knights.
Absolutely.
And the Grizzlies, speaking of dominance, they've been dominant all season long, giving up only 8 points in the second half all season long. And they come in tonight with an opportunity to beat Stowe. The only team in their way to sweep in the National Conference is North Royalton.
Absolutely. The Grizzlies are led by head coach Justin Todd. Coach Todd has an overall record of 90 wins and 40 losses. At Wadsworth, he's obtained 55 wins against only 29 losses. Last year, the Grizzlies went 7-5 with a 2-4 record in the National Conference of the Suburban League. It's Coach Todd's 8th year at the helm of the Grizzlies and his 11th season overall. Currently, the Grizzlies are seeded number 2 in Division I, Region 1, narrowly behind Canton McKinley Bulldogs for the top seed in Division I, Region 1. The Grizzlies are led by quarterback Will Stack. Will is the leader of this offense and team, and as Will goes, so goes the Wadsworth offense. He's a proven leader and can throw and run and plays the quarterback position with poise and composure.
We'll take a timeout now for the national anthem. Eric, we talked about Will Stack's composure. He put up some pretty good numbers last week against the Knights, didn't he?
He did. Last week he was 12 for 17 in the passing game for 159 yards. Not only that, he had 19 carries for 123 yards. On the season, he's amassed, he's gone 76 of 111 for 947 yards, 5 touchdowns against 4 interceptions in the pass game. But he's also carried the ball 92 times for 685 yards and, more importantly, 15 touchdowns. That puts him second behind Danny Stoddard there in Medina.
And you know, you've got a quarterback in Will Stack who can football, and then right behind him is a bruising back in Kyle Figueroa.
Yeah, the featured back for Wadsworth, Kyle Figueroa. He's punishing defenses right now with his bruising style of running. He seems to be that back that gets stronger as the game goes on, especially in the second half. Last week, Kyle, you know, kind of smaller numbers than what we may see from him, but he had 72 yards, but also caught 2 passes for an additional 41 yards. But he's averaging 5.9 yards per carry and has 9 touchdowns himself this year.
And you know, early in the season, you know, Gavin Madigan, sophomore safety for the Grizzlies, he's seeing some time on the offensive side of the ball, and he had 2 terrific weeks, especially Hudson, and again last week against Nordonia.
Absolutely. You know, a talent like Gavin, you know, he's only a sophomore, but plays like a seasoned vet, you know, a senior. But he's seen some time in the backfield as well as the slot position. And so he had touched the ball 6 times last week, just 27 yards, but 2 huge third down conversions to keep drives alive. And he was a big contributor the week before in the Hudson game.
And so we've done a great job dominating the line of scrimmage, especially in the second half of games on the offensive side. And that running game has opened up the passing game, and Drew Jones has had a couple of big weeks for us.
Yeah, he really has. So, you know, Drew, he's made some incredible catches throughout the season. Last week, you know, again, you know, it looks 41 yards, but one was a huge diving catch that, you know, I think that was a third down as well that kept the drive going and ultimately led to a score.
Yeah, head coach Martin Potter of the Stow Bulldogs. You see his record there at 2-16 and trying to rebuild that Bulldogs program. And currently they're ranked 16th in Region 1, Division 1. But, you know, we've also got some receivers stepping up, making big plays for the Grizzlies other than Drew Jones. Can you talk about some of those other contributors?
Yeah, so unfortunately we lost Ryan Keaton to an injury, you know, this past week in practice. But Caden Shriver's been out there all year, and we've also seen the last couple of weeks Colton Levitt and Nathan Metzger stepping up, you know, just some additional weapons that could, you know, play big factors in tonight's game.
And, you know, without an offensive line, your running game and passing game just don't come together. Talk about the strength of this offensive line.
Yeah, you know, you always talk about Kyle Figueroa and Will Stack, but the reality is they can't do it without the line. The line is really meshing. We've got some new coaches this year, and they're doing a wonderful job. And you know, we mentioned Kyle getting stronger in the second half of games. The same goes for the offensive line. I think throughout this year we've worn down bigger defensive lines, which has led to, huge play in the second half.
Yeah, and that's a huge testament. The 8 points given up in the second half all season long, and that was against Medina, I believe, in week number 3.
That's right.
And Medina is a pretty good football team in their own right.
Yeah.
Well, defensively, the Grizzlies are led by Luke Ryder, a tenacious nose tackle and defensive end. This kid, he is always finding the football, Eric, and he was in on 11 tackles last week and also in on half a sack. Another guy that we talked about in the pregame is Noah Tepteller. Wasn't a guy that we really talked a lot of in the preseason, but he's a guy that's really stepped up into the nose tackle position, and he has disrupted the running game of opposing offenses. As you take a look at Justin Todd, the head coach of the Grizzlies, and he's got the Grizzlies really, this is a well-oiled machine right now.
It really is, you know, and we'll talk about some of the other defensive players here in a moment, but what the job of those guys up front, the Luke Riders, Noah Tefteller, Zach Wise, when they step in, that allows those linebackers to hit their gaps, you know, scrape off the backside and really make some big plays. But a lot of it goes to those defensive linemen up front.
Yeah, they do a great job of not only making contact initially with that offensive player, but fighting through that block and disrupting the run and getting into the backfield. And, you know, a guy that we've talked about a lot this year is Gavin Madigan, consistent player on defense for the Grizzlies, last week, another double-digit tackle week for the sophomore, recorded 13 tackles, and he had a huge pick six that just took the sails out of the Knights.
It really took the wind out of Nordonia last week.
And we'll take a look at the series number. This is the 19th meeting. You see the Grizzlies with a 12-5 advantage with one tie. Stow did win the toss. They have elected to defer. The Grizzlies will go from north to south here at Art Wright Stadium in homecoming 2023. A nice crowd on hand here at Art Wright Stadium. And boy, a beautiful night for football. Cool, crisp evening. Temperature in the low 60s.
Perfect football weather.
And we are underway in week number 8.
Nathan Metzger.
Metzger to the 40. Metzger to the 50. One guy to beat it, and he's stopped by number 26. That's Jake Goslin with a touchdown saving tackle for the Bulldogs. What a return by the Nathan Metzger, the senior.
Yeah, phenomenal start there. Really untouched until he got through to about the 40-yard line. Jake Goslin, I think he's the leading tackler here for the Stow Bulldogs. So we'll probably be calling his name a fair amount tonight.
52-yard return by Metzger puts the Grizzlies in tremendous field position for their opening drive. Pass on the inside.
Colton Levitt.
Colton Levitt, one of those guys that's really picked up his game, as we talked about just a few minutes ago. That'll move the chains.
Yeah, first down there. Over the last couple of weeks, starting to utilize that tight end more often here.
Will Stack in the shotgun. Again, left side, just a quick out. Pass completed on that left side. Drew Jones on the reception.
Nice catch, a little behind him.
Wadsworth with that up-tempo offense. 2nd down and 4 now. Stack to Figure. Figure up the middle, and he's going to be stopped for a short gain, short of the first down. That'll bring up 2nd down and 2. Look at Will Stack's numbers on the season, impressive. We expect him to go over 1,000 yards passing here tonight.
Yeah, probably
it's 53.
Yeah, 1,000 yards passing and probably clear 700 yards rushing.
Motion to the near side. Stack looks right. Pass is caught over the middle. First down, Wadsworth.
Yeah, Colton Levitt again.
You like to see those tight ends get into the offense, and that opens up the edges as well, Eric.
It really does. It really does, and it also freezes those linebackers, which opens up that read option between Will and Kyle.
And that read option is something they've been so good at all season long.
Yeah.
1st and 10 at about the 13-yard line, 14-yard line. Stack to pass, end zone, caught. And out of bounds.
Yep.
It's Jones on the reception, but could not get his feet in on the backside of the end zone.
Yeah. Nice catch and throw, just a yard too deep.
See the 2 touchdowns by Jones, one against the Nordonia Knights last week, and he did a great job along the sideline.
Yeah, staying in bounds,
breaking the tackle. Yeah. Take another look at it, and just unable to get his foot in.
Yeah, you only need one here in high school, but that left foot hit the white there.
Levitt in motion. Stack to Figure. Figure going to be tackled by a host of Stow Bulldogs. Short gain on the play of about 2. And, he's a guy that Stow's going to be keying on, as every team has all season long, Eric.
Absolutely. You watch the film really for the last 3 years. Kyle's been the feature back there. So, they've got an idea of what Wadsworth is going to do. Obviously, it's easier said than done when you've got the skill of Will and Kyle back there.
He's got a 5.8 average. You saw it on the screen there, the graphic.
Nathan Metzger checking into the game here.
Will Stack rolling to his left, hits Figure in the flat. Figure with a head down. Second effort, gets a first down for Wadsworth.
So 1st and goal here from about the 2 or 3 yard line.
Now that's the nose for the end zone by Figure. We talked about him being a bruising back. He's not a guy that goes down on a first hit. You've got to hit and wrap to get Kyle down.
No, he's somebody that always keeps those shoulders square and legs pumping. And, some of those safeties, they come up. They better get low because he's going to, he'll run you over.
Metzger will check out. Colton Levitt checks in. two receivers on the lower part of your screen.
Yeah, Caden Shriver and Reese Simmons down on the lower part.
Drew Jones on man coverage. Handoff up the middle to Figueroa, and he's going to be stopped by that Bulldogs defense, and we'll get a number for you. Number 34, the linebacker.
Maddox Snyder.
On the stop for the Bulldogs. Opening drive here of the first quarter in this matchup between the Stow Bulldogs, 1-6, against the Grizzlies, 6-1. Mike Elkins and Eric Shriver, thanks for joining us here on WCTV. Levitt in motion. Stack with that option, cuts it up inside for a Grizzly touchdown.
Yeah, that's something we've seen over the past few weeks, the old-fashioned option play. And Will reads that defensive end. If he goes with Kyle, there isn't anybody better than planting that foot and getting upfield than Will.
Well, a nice job by that offensive line. We'll take another look at it. But, yes, it freezes the defensive end on the option. But a great job on the offensive line as they make contact, then get to the second level and make those big blocks on the linebackers. Here's Dinwiddie now for the PAT. Stoops with the hold. Kick is up, and we've got a flag on the play.
I think we've got encroachment here on the defense. So Coach Todd may go for two here. He's done that here. Yep, and here we go.
Yeah, I think he's done that on every situation that we've had
Yep.
a penalty on the PAT this year, and we've been successful, I believe, on all but one.
Right, yeah, so we get that extra yard and a half, and, they feel confident there with our running game and personnel to get the extra point.
Now you've got the big guys up front, Evan Crowley, Eli Kaufman, John Byers,
Max Hatfield, and Gabe Bludke.
Grizzlies now going for two. Stack with an empty backfield. Stack up the middle, and he will be stopped short of the goal line. So the Bulldogs hold on the 2-point conversion. And the Grizzlies with a 6-0 lead.
Good first drive. It's always great to score in your first series there.
Now we're going to get a good look at Harrington and the Stow Bulldogs offense, but let's finish talking about the Grizzlies defense. Zach Wise, we talked about how he's played the defensive end position all season long, and he's done it about as well as anyone else.
He has, and they've got a good rotation there, but he's kind of been that guy that starts and sets the tone. And, he's done a great job setting that edge, which opens the things up for the linebackers.
Yeah, and talk about the linebacker, Jacob Ernest, with a tremendous week last week against the Knights.
Yeah, 17 tackles, 1.5 sacks, disrupted a couple pass plays there at the line of scrimmage. Another just, great sophomore that we have that's contributing to this team.
Back deep for the Bulldogs, number 12, that is Dalen Keating. He's also the number one receiver on this Bulldogs team.
Dalen Keating and Tyler Harrington, Jacob Harrington's brother.
Yeah, Tyler Harrington also a primary target for Jacob. Can you imagine how that household runs?
Throw me the ball, brother.
And here's Dinwiddie to kick it off. Ball will go into the end zone and brought out by Harrington, and great coverage once again by that Grizzly kickoff team, and we've seen that pretty much all season long. Disciplined. Yeah,
disciplined lane assignments for the kickoff team, and Jack does a great job. It's typically pinning him in that back left corner each week. So special teams has been a huge lift here this year.
So Stow has really struggled this year in their running game, and there's been a number of reasons to it. You got a young offensive line. In some cases, you got guys in there with not a whole lot of experience, but you're at week 8, so that experience factor really goes out the window. But they put a new guy in the backfield, Paul Blitz, number 16, and we're excited to see what Mr. Blitz can do against this Grizzly defense. Harrington in the shotgun, looking near side. Pass is complete.
It's a Tyler Harrington.
And stop made there by number 8. That's Parker Ross, who we were just about ready to talk about.
Yeah, Parker, Parker's really stepped up the last few weeks and been playing great all year. They move him around a lot. He's always around the ball as well.
2nd down and 6 again, near sideline. Pass is caught there by number 12. That is Dalen Keeling. That'll move the sticks for the Bulldogs. And
I've watched watched a little bit of film of a couple of these games, and as of late, the Stowe Bulldog, they've been able to move the ball some between the 20s.
Yeah.
They've really struggled as of late, in the red zone.
And that's what Coach Podar said. He said, they do struggle in the red zone. They'll run right side with Blitz. Blitz is going to keep churning, and I like the effort by Paul Blitz. He'll get about 5 on the carry. 2nd down and 5 now for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs with 2 receivers on each side. Harrington's only a sophomore.
Yeah, and I think played just about every game last year as a freshman. Good size, good arm, little off there, but he's just growing with each week with experience, and will be somebody to reckon with in the Suburban League here over the next couple of years.
Tyler Probst on the coverage for the Grizzlies on the Harrington attempt. Bring up 3rd down and 5, and this is a big money down for the Grizzlies as you want to force the Bulldogs into a punt situation and get the football back.
Yeah, you want to keep that momentum as long as you can.
Harrington in the shotgun. Tyler Harrington in motion now on the near side. Harrington rolling to his right, chased, throws across the middle for a reception, and
it was Runkleman.
Yeah, Runkleman is the intended receiver.
Rickelman, I'm sorry.
And a nice job by Harrington. He's rolling to his right. He had to throw back a little bit across his body, but wide open receiver in Rickelman.
Yep.
Trips now to the left. Pistol formation for the Bulldogs. Near side. And the ball's on the ground, recovered by the Grizzlies.
Yeah,
I believe Wadsworth got him.
Wow, that's Travis Graham comes up with the big hit. That's great to see. Travis was injured a couple weeks ago and sat out the last week's game. That's a big return for him coming back.
We look at Wadsworth, and Coach Todd was all about, let's take another look at this play and the stick by Travis, and just able to get his hand in there and strip the ball out. And talk about making that first hit really mean something and stick it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see who recovered. We're back here, but yeah, and we've had 11 hats to the ball all year, so that initial hit is good, and then
Stack will keep it as he jukes his way up the middle off the right side initially, cuts it back, and gets a gain of about 11, good enough to move the chains for Wadsworth, and they will quickly go back to the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers on the top of your screen. Stack is going to keep it left side. Great block on the left side. Stack around the corner.
Evan Walker with the tackle.
Yeah, how important are those blocks, Eric, on the edge?
I mean, yeah, they're huge. I mean, that's the difference between a 4 or 5 yard gain and a 10 to 15 yard gain. You see, that was a perfect example of that read option. The end collapsed down on Kyle, which enabled Will to bounce it out. And with his, his shiftiness, that's usually a good thing.
Pistol formation now. Motion near side.
Reese Simmons.
Yeah, great read there by the Stowe Bulldogs. That's number 28 on the stop, Nick Hosey. Yeah, no fooling the Stowe Bulldogs on that play. That brings up a 2nd down and 12 now for Wadsworth. 2 receivers to the top. Colton Levitt now in motion.
And there's that read again.
Yeah, it just freezes those linebackers.
We're going to get a late
defensive end.
We're going to get a late hit there on the Bulldogs as well. Yeah, it really does. And then you'll see potentially here, they'll give that same action, and we'll be reading a linebacker. He'll step up, and then that's when you hit a Levitt or a Simmons or a Madigan there down the seam.
So that will, we'll see if they mark it. Yeah, it'll be half the distance. And the one thing that Will Stack does very well is he rides that football in the belly of Figueroa, and he just really freezes that defensive end and the linebackers.
Yeah, fortunately, Will's been playing that position since 7th grade, so he's got a lot of experience and been running that, essentially this same style offense, for the last 6 years.
It says a lot about the relationship between the quarterback and the running back in that.
Yep.
Here we go. It is first and goal from the 8 for Wadsworth. They lead it 6-0 inside 6 minutes now. Stack right side, cuts it up. He'll get it to about the 2.
Yeah, some good blocking there. We run to the short side of the field. They had some good pursuit and were able to keep him out of the end zone.
Jake Goslin on the stop for the Bulldogs.
So we see Nathan Metzger checking in here now for Reese Simmons.
Grizzlies in their black jerseys. The first time they broke those out this year.
Yeah, the Grizzlies have a number of different jerseys.
Metzger up the middle.
Yep,
and he's in.
Yep.
Touchdown, Wadsworth.
Yep, they're going to go for 2 here to try to get that point back.
Yeah, Coach Todd doesn't hesitate, Eric, on the decision to go for 2.
It's good to see Nathan Metzger get in there. A quick little cut for him, and he got the ball, the nose of the ball over the end zone.
2-yard touchdown run by Nathan Metzger, the senior, puts the Grizzlies up 12-0. Burks and Levitt on the right side.
It's Shriver and Levitt. Yeah.
Shriver and Levitt. Stack will cut it up the middle, and he's so good at that. 2-point conversion is good.
The line did a phenomenal job there. Right tackle had that seal there. He had 3 yards there without even being touched. So great job by the line.
Now 14-0. Your Grizzlies lead it with 5:08 remaining here in the opening quarter. And what is homecoming at Arkwright Stadium? We'll take another look at this. And you've got a lot of hats on white jerseys, and that offensive line coaching staff, Coach Todd, got to be very pleased with that.
Absolutely, and it was good to see Brady O'Connor back out there. He had an ankle injury here a couple of weeks ago. So out there here now and just made a big block to allow Will to get in for that 2-point conversion.
Sean Kincaid, we talked about, linebackers Sean Kincaid and Ernest, 68 tackles on the season. Madigan with 60, Simon Kilker with 54, and they rank among the top in Medina County for tackles.
It's 2nd, 4th, and 6th, respectively, there in Medina County.
And
there's some really good talented teams in Medina County.
So actually Buckeye and Medina, very talented football teams. And this Grizzly defense has given up 134 points all season long. They're averaging about 19 points a game allowed. But, boy, that's all in the first half.
Yeah, only 8 points given up in the second half this year. So, that's a point per second half. That came again back in Medina in week 3.
Now, Jack Dinwiddie will kick it into and through the end zone, so the Bulldogs will start 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And, boy, that's a weapon as this season goes on, the leg of Jack Dinwiddie. If we can just keep that in the end zone and get your opponent at the 20-yard line.
I mean, this is Jack's 3rd year as a junior, so you remember back his freshman year, he was barely making 20-yard field goals. 2 years later now, he's kicking it deep into the end zone, perfect placement, and doing very well, in the extra point and field goal game as well.
Stowe quickly finds themselves behind 14-0, 5:08 remaining here. First quarter. Here's Harrington in the shotgun. Throws right side. Pass is caught.
Yeah, Joey Lehner.
Nice catch by Lehner.
Yeah.
And if you're Stowe, you're really forced to throw in this situation, already down by 14.
Yeah, I mean, Stowe showing a lot of different looks and formations here, but when you get down early, and our defense has been pretty stout this year against the run game. So they probably feel apt to need to throw the ball right now. But still a lot of time left in the game.
It's just this Grizzly defense is so hard to run against. And we've got a flag on the play. I believe we had a false start, perhaps, on the Bulldogs. That'll back them up. 2nd down now and 11 for Stowe.
Yeah, I think you've seen a much more aggressive approach here the last handful of games from the defense. Really just playing downhill and flowing to the ball.
Yeah, Wadsworth has done a great job of not flowing, but also just flying to the football. Right. Harrington in the shotgun. He'll look right. Pass is intended for number 15. It'll be incomplete. That's Christian Walker.
Yeah, with that, kind of taking that approach, it kind of puts your defensive backs and sometimes on an island. But at the same time, if you can get pressure on that quarterback, they're not able to step in and make that good throw. So it actually helps out your defensive backs.
So now, Eric, you're at 3rd down and 11. You're deep in your own territory. Wadsworth going to bring the pressure on this one, I would suppose.
Yeah, I would think so. I think you probably see, Parker Ross coming up from one side, maybe an Ivan Raines or, I don't know if that's Zach Wise or Luke Wright are there on the other end.
Well, Teff Teller said nose. Harrington pressured.
Okay, that was Figueray. Yep.
Ball is going to be thrown out of bounds and no flag on the play. That'll bring up a 4th down now for Stowe, and they are forced to punt. And this is not how Coach Podar wanted this football game to begin for his Stowe Bulldogs.
No, I'm sure it's not. You just got to move on to the next play, try to get a stop here, and try to slow the Grizzlies down and take their next shot when they get the ball. Last week we had our first block punt of the season. I think we've had a lot of close calls, but Parker Ross was able to get in and block one last week.
Probst will let this one roll wisely. He lets it roll.
He wanted to pick it up.
And that'll be 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line for Wadsworth, their own 34-yard line. And Stowe, what do you do? I mean, you're Coach Podar. What do you do? I mean, you've got to stick to some type of game plan coming in here. You've got to get a defense stop right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to keep coaching them up. Try to get the linebackers, those guys, to work on the keys. Obviously, that's easier said than done when you've got somebody as shifty as Will. But yeah, big thing here is to get a stop, get some momentum, get something positive going.
Will Stack. Will read, handoff to Figueray.
Oh, there's a face
mask, and I don't see a flag.
How is there not a flag?
There's no flag on the play, and Figueray is asking himself the same question. Short gain on the play of 2, 2nd down and 8 now for the Grizzlies. Yeah, that was clearly, Eric, a face mask.
We're a little ways up here, but you saw his head snap back and turn around, but yeah, you had the wing and the ref and the center judge all looking at it as they thought otherwise.
Sack this time will tuck it on the right side, turn it up, and get enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, so looks like a first. Are they going to mark it here?
Yeah, they'll mark it 1st down. It should be.
Looks like he stepped out about a yard short.
Yep, 3rd down and 1 now. The first 3rd down conversion now for the Grizzlies tonight.
So here's a spot I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe take a shot. Coach Todd isn't afraid to make this 4-down territory, so maybe you take a shot here.
Well, you got man coverage, it looks like, on the outside, and that'll be
a free. Yeah,
that'll be a Boyd. 1st down because Desmond Boyd jumped.
Yeah.
What could have been one of those where he was just anticipating the snap count.
Yeah, wanted to make a play.
So Coach Podar will ask Boyd to step out, and coming in is big 99. Jonah Johnson-Drake. He's only 5'9", 288.
Big run stopper.
Figueray up the middle, patient, bursts it through the second level into the secondary for a 1st down for Wadsworth.
Real nice run. Looked like he just had a little bit of a seam there and was able to get through there.
Robert and I talked a couple of weeks ago, watching Kyle mature as a running back. He's kind of waiting for those blocks to set up, and then he just powers right through the hole.
I've been fortunate enough to coach Kyle pretty much his whole career up until he got to high school, and he has definitely grown. Here's another nice run there by Will, but he's definitely grown over the years. He used to just want to bounce everything outside, and as he's grown a little bit, the physicality and patience have come a long ways. And
you talk to a lot of opposing teams in the Suburban League. The physicality, that word comes up. It's synonymous now with the Wadsworth Grizzlies this year.
And it's it makes sense. The Grizzlies have always had those.
Yes.
And they go back for many years. We've always had these backs that were very physical.
First down throw by Will Stack is complete to Colton Levitt for a gain of about 4 on the play. Second down and 6, and we're averaging 8, 9, 10 yards on first down.
We are, yeah. And that just opens up the playbook. You can pretty much do about anything you want there. You've got, a couple plays to play with, especially when you're on this on the Stow side of the field.
Shriver on the near side, trips to the near side.
Out there with OHSAA and Simmons.
Will Stack looks, end zone, passes up, incomplete. Intended for Drew Jones on the coverage over there, whereas number 13, Jeremy Turner. I beg your pardon, was that number 15, Christian Walker?
Yeah, I think it was Christian.
Levitt checks in.
You've seen a lot of guys rotating in at those slot positions, tight end positions here the last couple of weeks. Great experience for some of these younger guys.
Will Stack in an empty backfield. Motion near side. Jet sweep. Nope.
Yep.
Stack's going to keep it up the middle. Stack to the 5. Cuts to the left.
Yep.
Touchdown, Grizzlies.
Yeah, I think Stowe brought a blitz from the outside here, sealed that off, and it just opened wide open, right up there for Will.
And we talked about Eric Will's athleticism and his ability in the open field to make tacklers miss with that shifty moves, and that was another example.
Yeah, he has the ability to just plant that foot and change directions in a split second, and it makes it really difficult for any defensive back who's basically out there on an island trying to bring him down.
PAT, snap is back, kick is up, and good for Dinwiddie. 1:30 remaining. Your Grizzlies lead at 21-0 over the Stow Bulldogs. See if we can take another look at that touchdown run by Will Stack and the pressure that Stowe brought. But again, Will Stack able to get through and break tackles.
Yeah, you'll see a cut right here. That guy coming to the side. Yeah,
that's just tough to do. He's trying to position himself for a tackle, and when you got a guy as quick and fast as Will Stack, as you mentioned a few minutes ago, you're on an island.
Yeah, you're on an island. Coach speak, you got to tell him to break down backside shoulder, but somebody like that, we've seen throughout the years, Will just, he can make 2 cuts in a moment's notice. It's very difficult.
So what a weapon in the backfield, Figueroa and Metzger and Will Stack, and Grizzlies dominating this one early with 1:30 remaining. Tyler Harrington back for the Stow Bulldogs.
And Evan Walker, I believe, as well.
Evan Walker. And this is an area that the Grizzlies have excelled all season long on this kickoff team. I think we were burnt once against Barberton, but not since.
Yeah, not since. I think that's been a point of emphasis. Last year there was, the Medina game comes to mind, right in the game, and all of a sudden, kickoff return for a touchdown. Those are backbreakers.
Dinwiddie again to the far side, into the end zone it goes, and it'll go out the back of the end zone for another touchback.
That in itself, when you play teams that have that explosiveness in the kick return game, being able to kick it that deep, that's just a weapon that a lot of schools don't have.
So Wadsworth really is in control of their own destiny, and a win tonight will clinch them at least a tie for the Suburban League National Conference, and that'll be the first time since 2019 that would have occurred. Because you see Hudson and Nordonia, they are playing tonight. That's a big one. We'll give you an update on that score later on in this broadcast.
Yeah, and you see, Brecksville, 4-3, Twinsburg down to 3-4. Those are 2 teams that, had struggled in years past and, have improved immensely. We saw that earlier, that both those teams playing is tough.
Hand off inside, stopped by a host of Grizzlies. Let's see who gets up off the ground first or last. Yeah, it's hard to tell with those dark jerseys.
Yeah, Jacob Ernest.
Looks like Jacob Ernest, yeah. Jacob Harrington in the shotgun. Blitz to his right side. Blitz coming in off the corner for the Grizzlies. At least they're showing blitz.
Yeah, I'll figure it out there.
Harrington, near side, misses wide. Pass is intended there for number 10, Andrew Rickelman. Again, this is where you struggle because now your quarterback is starting to feel some pressure, Eric. You're down 21-0. You got to put the ball in the air.
Yeah, and he's, it was there. He's trying to almost make the perfect pass. He wants to put it on the sideline so the defender can't come up. It's tough. He's still a young quarterback. But you want to try to get him somehow to just play free, let it rip, let it happen when you're down 3 scores.
Yeah, I think you raised an excellent point in that you've got to relax, play within yourself, and just play like you're up 21-0.
Right, absolutely. I mean, it's easier said than done.
And we've got a timeout on the field, and I believe the Bulldogs have called timeout. Take a look at a couple of our senior spotlight we wanted to talk about a little during this timeout. Drew Jones, a guy that we wanted to focus on. He's so athletic, Drew Jones. He's got the speed, he's got hands, and he's got evasiveness.
Yeah, and it's great to see Drew succeeding. Drew had, his freshman year had a bad ACL injury. It took him 2 years to really get back, and it's great to see him succeeding out there. Not only offensively, but, crucial downs here, short yardage, you'll see him out there at the defensive end position.
Yeah, another guy that plays defensive end and nose tackle is Luke Ryder. He's just been a menace for opposing offenses all season.
He really has. His nickname Chubbs.
Chubbs.
That's what all his buddies call him. But yeah, he's either a run stuffer, but he always seems to find himself, getting in on the tackle in the midst of that scrum there on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's a nose tackle right now. Jacob Harrington in the shotgun. 3rd down and 9 for the Bulldogs. Blitz coming. Pass far sideline and overthrown and out of bounds. And the Bulldogs will be forced to punt once again.
Yeah, I think
he shows a great arm. Jacob.
He does.
Harrington.
He really does. And he actually. You kind of want to force young quarterbacks out of the pocket, but we saw there earlier in the game, he rolled out, threw back a little bit across his body. Not something you typically want to quarterback, but it was a great throw and an athletic throw.
Probst to Madigan back for the Grizzlies. Punt is away. Madigan will wisely, he dove on it.
Better that than trying to pick it up.
And covered it up, yes. So it'll be 1st and 10. Ball's going to be placed at, I believe, the 42-yard line. .33 seconds now remaining here in the opening quarter. Stow really needs a stop here. Create a turnover. They have created turnovers throughout the season. Pass near side,
Tyler Probst.
And Probst taken out bounds on the near sideline. Tackle made there by number 26, Jake Goslin. They've caused 6 fumbles this season.
Wow.
The Bulldogs. 2nd down and 6. Stack on the left side, evading tackles. He's in open space, flag thrown. And Stack will run it out of bounds, but that one's going to come back.
Yeah, I think they got a block in the back on Colton Levitt. I don't know that he actually made contact with him, but that's what it looked like. Oh, no, they've got a holding.
Holding is the call. So we'll see where the hold took place and get the spot of the foul. I believe it looks like it's at the 45-yard line. So we'll mark it off 10. And that should bring up a 2nd down and 7. Yeah, 2nd down and 7 as they place the ball at the 45-yard line.
Jackson Urksa checking in here for Colton Levitt.
Looks like Probst and Jones on the far side, along with
Urksa.
Yes. Near side is Shriver. Figueroa in the backfield with Stack. Second down and 7. Stack in the slot. Hits Jones on the left side for a first down.
Nice throw there, rolling out to Will's left.
It was Figueroa in motion to the slot. I beg your pardon.
So that's the end of the first quarter.
Now we come back and start the second quarter with your Grizzlies up 21-0 over the Stow Bulldogs. Coming in today, as we talked about earlier, the Grizzlies ranked second in Region 1, Division 1. There's some folks out there projecting that the Grizzlies will be number 1 in Region 1, Division 1, should they run the table.
Went out, yeah. I don't understand all the computations to get to there, but, we've got a pretty good lead over St. Ed's, who's in the 3 spot right now. And Canton McKinley, who's ahead of us, has a difficult schedule coming up ahead of them.
Yeah, and the 4th spot is Cleveland Heights, and they're taking on Medina, who I believe is in the 6th spot.
Yeah, so that's a big game for seeding right there.
And so the Grizzlies will be on the road next week in Maryland, and that's about a 4-hour commute from what I understand, talking to some folks earlier.
Yeah, it's right about exactly 4 hours there down around the Cumberland, Maryland area.
And that's a Saturday afternoon game, correct?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Next Saturday.
And then the Grizzlies will end the season on the road at North Royalton, and we would assume that we've got a home football game for first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, unless something catastrophic happens here. I think we'll have at least one. Potentially I think 2. If we get one of those top couple seeds.
And if the playoffs were to begin today, I believe Brunswick would be playing the Grizzlies here at home.
Yes.
And it is 1st and 10, Stack in an empty backfield. Here comes Figueroa in motion. They'll throw it behind Figueroa.
Oh, he has Caden wide open.
Jones.
But he goes back to Stack.
A little trickery in the Coach Todd playbook.
Wow. We haven't seen that this year.
Why not? Well, it was a lateral to Figueroa, who hands it off to Jones. Jones running to his left, throwing.
Yep, he's left-handed.
And he's left-handed, so drawn up well. Pass on the right side. I can't get the number there.
Yeah, that was Tyler Probst. But some really good blocking out there by Caden Shriver and Colton Levitt.
We'll go back to the Drew Jones pass to Will Stack, and you see the lateral, and then pitch it to Jones, and Jones left-handed. And throws a strike to Will Stack. And Probst, his reception, gets it inside the 10. It's 1st and goal now from the 6. Figueroa in the pistol. Stack will keep it, throw it left to Probst. Touchdown, Grizzlies.
So, essentially a read option with another option there.
Boy, how do you defend that? That's well drawn up and well executed by Will Stack and Figueroa and Probst on that, and the offensive line. Look at the offensive line. They're flowing right, and everything is going left.
Well, when you got a threat like Will, he makes the first guy bite and fit in on Kyle. So then you got a linebacker coming up on an island. It's just putting athletes out there and putting them in positions to succeed.
Dinwiddie's kick is up, and it is good. 28-0 early here in the second quarter at Arkwright Stadium. Homecoming 2023, and crowd enjoying this one, Eric, so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And this past, seeing a couple wrinkles and some new looks that we haven't seen all year. But sometimes you do that to make, in film for these, teams that you may play down the road. It gives them something else to think about and worry about.
Yeah, when you talk about the defensive side of the ball, and I mentioned it on the replay there, you got your left side, your left guard and left tackle are pulling right. And as a linebacker, you're taught, right, read your keys, so you're flowing that way. And that puts the corner on an island with Tyler Probst.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had, in that play in his previous reception there, some great blocking out there on the edge by the wide receivers.
Evan Walker and number 28, Nick Hosey, deep for the Bulldogs to return this kickoff from Jack Dinwiddie. No wind here at Art-Wright Stadium tonight.
Beautiful night.
Dinwiddie, the junior, having a phenomenal season. Kick is away. And this one will go
Out of bounds.
out of bounds just inside the pylon on the near side. He's done a great job all year trying to get that ball in the corner.
Yeah, and when you can do that, it makes everybody else their lane assignments that much easier. You can kind of pinch him, but you still got to respect that outside. But yeah, it makes the job of everybody else in that kickoff team that much easier.
After Coach Podar, you're down 28-0 right now, early second quarter. I think you really just got to focus on fundamentals now.
Absolutely.
Offensive line. Hey, guys, let's just block man on man.
Yep.
Let's put a drive together. Let's not get it all back at one time.
Yeah, stick to whatever you're, whether it's a zone, zone read or whatever that may be. Stick to the fundamentals, make that block, and, try to stack up some yards here.
Jacob Harrington in the shotgun. Blitz in the pistol, handoff to Blitz. He's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Tackled for a short loss on the play.
About a 1 yard loss there with forward progress.
I'll bring up second down and a long 10. We'll call it at 11 for the
On the
Bulldogs.
play. It's a second down and 11 now.
Running behind big Carl Walker, 6'2", 267 on that Bulldogs left side, the left tackle there for Stowe.
Yeah, it's a young offensive line as well. There's a lot of young players out here on the Stowe team.
Harrington gets it to
Harrington,
Tyler Harrington. Reception from Jacob Harrington. And that'll be short of a first down. They'll mark it at the 42.
Yep.
Third down and 3 now for Stowe.
But a good positive play there for Stowe.
And Tyler went in motion, then came back out.
Yeah, right out there in the flat, and they had a good block there on Tyler Probst there out in the wing.
4 receiver set, 2 to the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom. Blitz in the backfield. Next to Harrington, they'll change the play at the line of scrimmage. And they'll take a timeout as the play clock was running out. So we've got a timeout, and, Coach Todd talking about, some of these Stowe receivers, this Dalen Keeling. He likes him. The kid is extremely athletic. We haven't seen a lot of Keeling here this evening, but he's a threat for the Bulldogs.
No, absolutely. I mean, 30 receptions on the year, nearly 400 yards, pretty good numbers. And then you've got, watching the Brecksville game that they played, jokingly, I think that brotherly love at home, Tyler Harrington's been seeing a lot of action here over the last couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, Tyler Harrington on the season, 26 receptions, 315 yards, and he's got a touchdown, and he's got some breakaway speed. He's got a 74-yard touchdown reception on the season.
Yeah, and, again, he's got decent size as well.
But Stowe, they've got a lot of work to do, down 28-0 here. Third down, and we'll call it 3 from the 42-yard line. And I wonder if Coach Podar's got some trickery up his sleeve after watching Coach Todd on that last drive. Blitz coming from the left side. That's Sean Kincaid looking to come. Harrington will keep it up the middle. First down, Bulldogs. That's a nice play call, just a quarterback draw.
Yeah, you split 2 guys out wide each side. The defense decided to drop back, and it was a good play call there with the quarterback draw.
Yeah, nice composure there by Harrington to get the first down for Stowe. Boy, they really did need that first down. Mm-hmm. That's a confidence builder for that offensive line and that offensive unit. Harrington, back to pass, flushed out of the pocket, pressure coming, throws.
Oh, wow.
Across his body and back across the field. The pass falls incomplete. That's a dangerous throw for a young quarterback.
Always dangerous to throw back across your body, but that was he had the guy open, just a difficult throw, a little behind him.
Yeah, and you got to credit the Grizzly defense bringing the pressure because it didn't allow Harrington to turn, get his feet set,
right.
and square his shoulders up.
Yep.
Second down and 10 now for the Bulldogs. Harrington looking left, throws high and out of bounds and incomplete.
Yeah, it seems like, a little struggle here tonight with those dig routes, those out routes here. It's been a little high and outside here tonight.
That's a long throw for Harrington.
It is.
He's on the near hash almost, but he's throwing across the field a pretty good distance.
He is. He's got the arm talent to do it. Just getting some of that timing between the quarterback and the receiver. I'm sure with him just being a sophomore, they can work that out. And again, something to look forward to here in the coming years.
Third down and 10 now for the Bulldogs. Blitz on the right hip of Harrington. Wadsworth bringing pressure. They bring 7. Pass is intended for number 12, but incomplete. That's Dalen Keeling. And, when you bring 7 quickly like that and you got 5 blocking, that's a tough order for a quarterback.
It is, and I think, just based off what I just said, it was the right read. He threw it. The receiver hadn't made his cut yet.
Yeah.
It went right over his head.
Yeah, and you've got to go for it here if you're Stowe. 4th down and 10. 4th and 10 from the 50. And they'll pooch kick it. And this one will pin the Grizzlies deep in their own territory at about the 6 or 7 yard line. We'll see where they mark it. At the 6 yard line. And yeah, I think that was the right call by Coach Podar.
It is. You don't want to, even though it's going to be difficult to stop Wadsworth regardless of where they start from, that's the right thing to do, make them earn it. But I think not only is Jacob Harrington the quarterback, I think he is their punter. And I believe he may actually handle their kickoffs as well. I didn't see there at the beginning.
Now the Grizzlies dominating this one 28-0, and they've been very effective in the run game between. It's actually been the Will Stack show tonight. I mean, he's done a great job in the belly fakes and riding that option and freezing the defensive end, the linebackers, and the offensive line just doing a great job holding their blocks.
Yeah, and if you get to it after this play here.
Stack, shotgun, Jones in motion. Stack drops back, pass is caught, complete. Colton Levitt with a big reception. That'll move the chains for the Grizzlies.
Looking at, this is week 8 here now. So Breckville's played a lot of the other teams in the Suburban League National Conference. Most of the other quarterbacks are more or less pocket passers or running tech. So they haven't faced anybody, with the running ability of Will this year, which makes it very difficult to simulate that in practice.
Figure with run off the right side with a short gain on the play of about 2. That'll bring up 2nd down and 8. They're going to give him 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7. Looks like Caden Shriver on the top of your screen. Handoff, Figure inside. Figure muscling through, and
Maddox Snyder.
Stop is made by, Maddox Snyder. Called his number a couple of times tonight.
Yep.
Solid linebacker for the Stowe Bulldogs.
Yeah, Stowe with a lot of guys going both ways here.
3rd down and 2. Colton Levitt in the slot.
I think we're going to call a timeout.
2 on the play clock. They get the play off. Stack up the middle. Stack with Green in front of him. Stack to the 40, to the 30. Not a flag. He'll go end zone. Touchdown, Grizzlies.
Yeah, another well-executed, well-blocked play. And when Will gets into the open field, there's not going to be many that will be able to have the speed to catch him. We saw, here last week, or 2 weeks ago, Hudson had somebody who was able to run him down, but there's not many that are going to run Will down. Will also runs on the 4x1 and 4x2 team for the track team.
We got a whistle and a stoppage of play. The snap was high. The kick was good, but we'll redo it. Number 13 will have to leave the game. That's Jeremy Turner. Must be an equipment issue. Otherwise, they wouldn't stop it. Yeah. So we'll line up and do it again. Stoops on the hold. And the kick is up, and it is good. 35-0, your Grizzlies in a dominating fashion over the Stow Bulldogs. You know, one of the things that coaching staffs maybe don't get a whole lot of credit for are the guys who go out there and scout the other team.
Yeah, I mean,
they develop their scouting report, right? They're watching the games, they're watching film, getting tendencies, and
I mean, I want to give a lot of credit to the Wadsworth coaching staff. I know that they spend. This game will end tonight, and you know they'll have their swim workout in the morning, team breakfast, and then the team basically the good portion of tomorrow, and then the vast majority of the day Sunday, especially with the Browns not playing. They will spend, you know, watching film of, you know, Fort Hill, Maryland next week. And, you know, they break it down. You know, they work with every position, knowing their assignments. It's a true credit to the amount of work that goes in and what the coaching staff does.
Yeah, I think Coach Todd used the words that it's the most attentive staff that he's had. And it shows week in and week out as these kids are prepared. Dinwiddie to kick it off. Caught at the 3. Initial hit at the 20 and will be down with a flag on the play at the 25.
Yeah, so anytime you can keep them at 25 or in, that's great execution by the kickoff team.
We'll see who's going to be called on the infraction.
Typically looking at a holding there or blocking.
Yeah, Eric, is 22 guys on the field on the kickoff. I mean, you got 5 guys out there looking at something that could be going wrong. And you're right, we got a hold on the play. These officials have a tough job, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It's a lot easier sitting up here, you know, at times, you know, seeing the calls, you know, as compared to being down there on the field. But, you know, by and large, you know, especially the last few weeks, I think the officials have done a great job.
So the Bulldogs find themselves deep in their own territory again. 1st and 10 on their own 15-yard line. Just under 8 minutes now remaining in the first half of this homecoming 2023 for the Grizzlies. Harrington, quarterback draw. Will run off to the right side and get a gain of about 3 on the play. Bring up 2nd down and 7.
A great job there by the defense, holding their edge, forcing the ball back up in the middle, which allows the linebackers and safeties to, you know, to come up and fill.
Second down and 7 for the Bulldogs. Harrington, pump, flushed out of the pocket.
Yep.
And he's going to go down with a sack.
Yep, Parker Ross and
is that Figueroa? I can't tell off the no. Number 50. Yeah, that's Sean Payne.
Great, Sean getting some action in here tonight.
Now, if there's one Achilles heel for that offensive line, they've given up a lot of sacks this year, have the Stow Bulldogs. 3rd down and 16 for Stow.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if they have a senior on the offensive line. But, you know, that offensive line has to be cohesive and communicate as well.
Harrington with a lot of movement in the backfield, steps up in the pocket, and he's going to go down.
Yeah, Drew Jones with the pressure from the left, and
it's like number 44 also in there.
Casey Hill,
yeah.
Casey Hill, great to see him get in there.
See the pressure come, Drew Jones, and then it's leave Hill on the stop.
Yep.
Hill records his first sack of the season.
No, you're right. It's not.
So it looks like Tyler Probst and Madigan deep for the Grizzlies, and this one is returnable. Madigan will get it at the 42-yard line. Madigan to the 30, cuts his way inside the 25, and he'll be down at about the 21-yard line. Good return by the sophomore Gavin Madigan on the punt return. We haven't seen him in the backfield yet today.
No, we haven't. We've got some great depth in the backfield. Besides Figueroa, we've got Nathan Metzger. We may see here in the second half Cooper Gray, another great young running back with a lot of speed,
with a 44-yard touchdown run against the Knights last week.
Another track guy that's runs the 4x200 for the Grizzlies.
1st and 10 now from the 21. They mark it. Stack to Figueroa up the middle. Figueroa will get to about the 12, and he needs to get to the 11 for a first down, a gain of 9. Snyder on the stop for Stowe. Handoff again. Figueroa will be stopped at the line of scrimmage, and they may mark him for a loss of 1. They do. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2 now.
Yeah, good penetration there for Stowe up the middle.
And now you might run that run option.
Yeah.
You got the wide side of the field, and that run option has worked all night long. Figueroa up the middle, burst through. Figueroa, touchdown, Wadsworth. Now you got to like the effort by the senior tailback.
Yeah, breaks those initial tackles and then gets a nice downfield block by Caden Shriver. Enables him to get in relatively unscathed once he got past the linebacker.
Yeah, the initial contact was made by the linebacker, Maddox Snyder, and he just rolled off of Kyle Figueroa.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Kyle runs with those shoulders square, gets low, and makes it very difficult. You've got to get really low to bring him down.
Stoops on for the hold. The kick by Dinwiddie is up, and it is good. Grizzlies lead it 42-0 with 4:55 remaining in this one. Talking about tackling, I asked Coach Todd earlier, what stands out to you as the biggest improvement on both sides of the football? And his first response obviously was defense, and he says tackling. They're tackling as good as any team that he's ever had.
Yeah, I think we had one game, I'm trying to recall what game it was, where it was very poor. And this day and age, there's not a lot of contact in practice anymore.
Right.
So it's difficult, And since that game, they've really stepped up. I mean, they've improved immensely there. And the other thing you got to give both the coaches and the players credit for, the last couple weeks, we've not had many penalties. I don't know if we've had one tonight. The first, I think we still lead the county in penalty yards.
Yeah, but we had the fewest last week.
We did.
Yeah.
And, with very few tonight. So it's been a point of emphasis, and it's getting through. Dinwiddie
on for another kickoff for the Grizzlies as we've got a visitor in the booth. It's a giant bug. And this ball will roll to the 5, picked up. And on the return, there is Evan Walker.
Big hit there. Another.
Is that number 4 on the stop, Troy Myers?
Okay, great.
But talking about special teams, you said, the coverage units, their opponents, Wadsworth opponents, are averaging a starting position in yards returned, the best that Coach Todd has seen in his tenure here as Wadsworth head coach.
Yeah, and obviously it helps with the leg Jack has now, and it's truly amazing how he can put it really inside the number, between the numbers and the sideline. It's usually between the 10-yard line and the goal line.
Harrington will keep it on the left side, turn it up, and he will be stopped for a loss on the play. That's a tackle for a loss.
great job by Casey Hill there, again, getting upfield, holding the edge and forcing that back up the middle to where the linebackers and the rest of the team can flow to the ball. Seen a lot of guys getting some action now for the Grizzlies.
And that's so important on the edge to keep that leverage to the outside, isn't it?
Yeah, when you got the linebackers that we have, Sean Kincaid, Parker Ross, Jacob Ernest, they're good at reading it, but it all starts with those ends forcing everything back towards them.
So the Bulldogs will come to a tight formation. Harrington looks, throws deep, and overthrows his intended receiver. That is number 2, Joey Lehner. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 11 now for the Bulldogs. Now we will go into the second half, coming out of the second half with a running clock.
Yes, 30 points or greater, second half, running clock. The only time it stops is on the change of possession. New rule this year, the clock actually runs on the extra points as well.
3rd down and 11 now for Stowe. Harrington looks over the middle, passes complete to Tyler Harrington. Stop on the play there is Jacob Ernest.
He's going to be a couple yards shy there. Bring up 4th and 3.
So you got Drew Jones at the left end. So he's one of those athletes you could move around. Offensively, he's a receiver, but defensively, he can play the secondary, play on the end.
Yeah. Yes, Drew played a fair amount of DN last year and did a great job. And then, he played some secondary this year. Obviously when you play Medina, they throw it 60 times a game. Don't really run it. You put your athletes out there, in the best position.
Kick is away, and Probst will let it roll, and it will roll to a stop.
Nice punt there.
Inside to 30 at about the 27-yard line, and that's where the Grizzlies will take over, leading it 42-0.
Yeah, we'll look at some, we're talking about the varsity team here, but the program as a whole is having a phenomenal year. We've got the 7th grade team is 5-1-1. 8th grade team actually just suffered their first loss of the season the other night, so they're 5-1. They had a game canceled at the beginning of the year. Freshman team is 6-2, and the JV team is currently undefeated at 7-0. So a lot of talent coming up here for the Grizzlies as well.
We got a false start flag on the Grizzlies. That'll push them back 5 yards. 1st and 15 now for Wadsworth. And
I spoke too soon on the lack of penalties.
that's okay. We'll do it again. 1st down and 15. Figueroa in the pistol behind Stack. Stack to Figueroa off the near side, off the edge, and he'll be stopped on the
nice tackle
play by number 33. Gain of about 3 on the play. 2nd down and 12. Metzger in motion. Pass out to Metzger, and Will Stack cannot connect. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 12. This is the longest 3rd down conversion of the evening for Wadsworth.
Yep. Got a little nervous. This is one of those ones where you got to, even if you don't catch, you better jump on the ball and make sure that it wasn't a lateral.
Stack, far side. Metzger gets enough for the 1st down.
Great block in there again by Colton Levitt and Caden Shriver.
Boy, Metzger, when he gets going upfield, he is just as quick as Will Stack.
Yeah, another shifty. He's got some shiftiness to himself as well.
3 receivers, bottom side of your screen, out to Metzger now in the open field. Metzger to the 45, 50, knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Boy, that is a great use of Mr. Metzger in that offense and just get him out into the open field and let his athleticism take over.
Absolutely.
Will Stack now. He'll keep it. Will Stack up the middle to the 35, inside the 32-yard line. They'll mark it at the 32.
That might have even been a busted play.
That'll move the chains regardless, busted play or not. First and 10 now for the Grizzlies. Clock still running, 1:47 remaining. If you're obviously Wadsworth is driving to put this in the end zone before halftime.
Yeah, typically, they're playing a lot of other guys right now. They're going to put Stoops in here at quarterback. They're going to pull Will out. You don't want to risk any injury here at the moment.
Play clock is down to 9. We'll see if Coach Todd calls the timeout. Stoops in at quarterback. Figueroa behind Stoops. Hand off Figueroa up the middle, and he'll be stopped by a host of Bulldogs. It'll bring up second down at about 8. Yeah, there was nothing wrong with Will Stack.
No, 42-0 here. He's having a great game, but it just takes one play to have an injury.
Stoops to Figueroa again. Figueroa stopped up the middle.
So we got to run one more play.
Good experience for Stoops out here tonight.
Yeah.
We'll see a lot of him in the second half, I would imagine. Stoops to Metzger. Metzger upfield, knocked out of bounds at the 20 with 16 seconds now remaining. Flag on the play.
I think we're going to get a hold in here.
So my partner, who talked about flags and the Grizzlies earlier.
Yeah, little jinx there.
No. I think you've got some you got different guys out there, and Friday night experience.
Yeah, for some of them it's the first time out there on Friday night. It's obviously they'll never forget it. But obviously they still want to succeed as well.
Yeah, there's a lonely sideline over there for Coach Podar. Hands on his hips, and he's looking at the clock, wishing it would run out.
There's Stoops to Schreiber.
Schreiber will be stopped short of the first down. That'll bring up a fourth down, and that will do it here in the first half at Art Wright Stadium. Homecoming in week number 8, and the Grizzlies dominating the Stow Bulldogs 42-0. Eric, your thoughts on the first half before we cut away for the break?
Well, coming in, Stow's unfortunately just had the one win this year. We're trying to get a number 1 seed. You can never overlook a team. We had a bad game last year and a game we thought we should have won. So you want to come out and execute. So, job well done, I should say, here in the first half. And, a lot of the number 2s are going to get a lot of valuable playing time here, I think, in the second half.
Well, enjoy the halftime show, the Stow Bulldogs and then the Wadsworth Grizzlies marching band.
Ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Greg Newman, Sam Sandman, Crystal DeWitt, Nick Campagna, Tom Lewis, and student conductors Morgan McLaughlin and Avery Phillips, put your hands together and stomp your feet as we present the 2023 Stow-Monroe High School Marching Band. The 1984 anthem, We're Not Gonna Take It, from Twisted Sisters' album Stay Hungry, gave the audience a reason to raise their fists in righteous anger. The 80s songs were under the attack by the Parents Music Resource Center, which led to putting parental advisory stickers on albums with explicit content. On your feet, bang your head, and pump your fist. That's the band's powerful rendition of We're Not Gonna Take It. Our next song from the 1978 Six album, Pieces of Eight, is the unemployed workers' lament and a vow to keep their dignity despite the stigma of unemployment. I'll take those long nights, impossible odds, keeping my eye to the keyhole. Here's Blue Collar Band. The inspiration for our next song came from bouncers that were harassing people in bars who would slam dance to the new wave songs of the early 80s. The lead singer of Middle Down Patch was kicked out of a bar and went home and wrote their 1982 hit, Safety Dance. Just please refrain with things from slam dancers, but please ask to the band. The 10-hour show with a medley of Philly jewels, We Didn't Start the Fire, from his 1989 album Stormfront, and Piano Man from his 1973 album Piano Man. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2023
Good evening. Welcome to the 2023 Homecoming Ceremony. Tonight's first attendant is Miss Lauren Sieber. Lauren is the daughter of Christopher and Janice Sieber. She is a varsity cheerleader, a member of Rhythm and Red Show Choir, and has participated in 6 drama productions. After high school, Lauren plans to attend college and major in diagnostic medical sonography or early child education. Lauren is escorted by Mr. Graham Young. Graham is the son of Jeff and Anna Young. Graham is a member of Student Council as well as a member of National Honor Society. He is also the WHS Announcements team leader. After high school, Graham plans to attend The Ohio State University to pursue a career in journalism and reporting. The second attendant is Miss Anna Wallace. Anna is the daughter of Cliff and Kim Wallace. She is the head drum major in the marching band president of the speech and debate team and participates in productions with the Off Broad Street Players. After high school, Anna plans to attend college and major in marketing with a minor in graphic design. Anna is escorted by Mr. Parker Ross. Parker is the son of Mike and Lauren Ross. He is a member of Student Council, Huddle, and the National Honors Society. After high school, Parker plans to attend college and major in marketing or business. The third attendant is Miss Lotus Lemp. Lotus is the daughter of C.J. Lemp and Amanda Hutchison. She is the Vice President of Student Council, the National Honors Society Executive Board Representative, and a 2023 U.S. Club Soccer National Champion. After high school, Lotus plans to attend an out-of-state college and major in criminal justice. Lotus is escorted by Mr. Ethan Kuzmic. Ethan is the son of James and Jessica Kuzmic. He is a drum major in the marching band, a member of the varsity golf team, and a Huddle team leader. After high school, Ethan plans on attending the Ohio State University and major in data science. The fourth attendant is Miss Tatum Mendel. Tatum is the daughter of Joe and Liz Mendel. She's a member of Student Council, a member of the girls varsity tennis team, and plays club soccer. After high school, Tatum plans to attend college for pre-med and to play soccer. Tatum is escorted by Mr. John Byers. John is the son of Mark and Kelly Byers. He is a member of the varsity football team, the varsity baseball team, and participates in the high school's marching band, jazz band, and wind ensemble. After high school, John plans to attend the University of Akron for pre-physical therapy and business. He also plans to play baseball at Akron U. The final attendant is Miss Bree Stoner. Bree is the daughter of Greg and Angie Stoner. She is a member of the varsity volleyball team, Huddle, and Medina County Junior Leadership. After high school, Bree plans to attend college to major in biology and someday hopes to become a physician's assistant. Bree is escorted by Mr. Jake Schmelzer. Jake is the son of Mike and Stephanie Schmelzer. He is a member of the golf team, the basketball team, and the baseball team. He is also an athletic office helper and volunteers as a basketball scorekeeper in the summer. After high school, Jake plans to attend Ohio University to study education and become a history teacher. To present the crown tonight is last year's queen, Julia Fortner. She is currently studying biology at the Ohio State University. She plans to participate in Ohio State's study abroad program and in the future plans to go to graduate school to become an anesthesiologist's assistant. And now, the 2023 homecoming king and queen are Jake Schmelzer and Lotus Lemp.
Congrats, everybody.
That's okay. Well, we welcome you back to the booth here high atop Art Wright Stadium and what is a dominating performance by the Wadsworth Grizzlies leading the Stow Bulldogs 42-0. The first half numbers, the Bulldogs, the Grizzlies only held them to 16 yards rushing, 45 yards through the air, a total of 61 first half yards for the Stow Bulldogs. We'll take a look at some of the highlights here in the first half as we talk about these numbers. The Grizzly defense held Stow to only 3 first downs. The Bulldogs flagged for 4 penalties for 30 yards. They gave up a fumble, which led to 7 points for the Grizzlies, and that's something that every coaching staff loves to see, points off of a turnover.
Yeah, they work on it every day in practice, the takeaways, trying to get those. And we hadn't had a lot early on in the year, but the last couple of weeks we've been able to get some turnovers.
Quarterback Jacob Harrington, three rushes for 10 yards. He's 7 of 16 in the first half for 45 yards, and his leading target is number 12, Keeling, 3 receptions for 14 yards. On the Wadsworth side, 219 rushing yards, as you see Figure with a few of them there, and passing yards, 147. So tonight, Will Stack goes over the 1,000-yard mark.
Yeah, and he's probably pushing 800 yards for the year in rushing now. He's had some really long runs, just that dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, so totally 366 yards of total offense, Eric, in the first half for the Grizzlies. 16 first downs, penalized 3 times for 25 yards. Leading rusher, none other than Will Stack, 10 carries, 168 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Leading passer, Will Stack, 13 of 16. That's efficiency for 113 yards and 1 touchdown. And his leading target is number 85, Colton Levitt, 4 receptions for 40 yards. And just domination of the Grizzlies. That's all I can say at this point.
There's really no other way to put it. Again, you never want to overlook somebody got to come out and execute, but they're executing just as I would think the coaches had hoped. Obviously, there's room to improve. They've had a few penalties there late, but some younger kids getting an opportunity to play now.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what else is going on here in Grizzly Sports Nation. Volleyball is doing very well.
Yeah, the girls volleyball team doing phenomenally well, 15-2 overall, 10-1 in the Suburban League. That was as of earlier part of this week. The boys soccer team, 8-4-2 overall. Wasn't able to find anything on the girls soccer team. But golf, they're now into sectional play,
That's right.
tournament
Yes,
play.
Yeah.
The girls finished 10th as a team, and the boys finished 9th in the sectional tournament out of 16 teams. And there was recently a cross-country invitational down in Centerville, Ohio, with the girls placing 4th out of 29 and the boys finishing 14th out of 2019. So very respectable there.
And, we got homecoming tonight, and so we've got a lot of alumni coming back into Wadsworth and Art Wright Stadium, but we have an alumni that's playing football for Notre Dame doing very well, don't we?
Yeah, Mitchell Evans, gives back a lot to the community, comes back and does camps for Coach Todd, whatnot. But the last 2 weeks been the leading receiver for Notre Dame. Last week against Duke, 135 yards receiving. Coming off of an injury, he's really put himself out there and, representing Wadsworth well.
Yeah, and he has made some incredible catches against one against the Buckeyes and then again last week against Duke.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we are just moments away from getting the second half underway. And just a reminder to those that are tuning in here to WCTV in the second half, the Grizzlies up by 42 points. There will be a running clock so long as they maintain a 30-point advantage over the Bulldogs in this one. And we do expect to see, as we talked about at halftime, a lot of new faces here in the second half.
Yeah, we saw a lot of new faces the last possession or two there of the second quarter. So, it's a great opportunity for these kids that normally will play on Saturday morning, and many of them will still play tomorrow morning. But getting to play under the Friday night lights.
Another great play by the kickoff team, and that was, I believe, number 1, Evan Walker on the return. And Stowe will take over 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line to start this. And
so seeing a number of the starters out there on the defensive side here, but I fully expect that they'll start, getting a number of other bodies, younger players out there, mixing them in.
Yeah, I think you want to come out with your starters, at least in the first series in the second half, and get used to coming out as they have been all season long. 1st and 10 now for Jake Harrington and the Bulldogs, who've looking to put a drive together and find the end zone. Harrington left side blitz off the edge, and a burst of speed and a gain of about 4 on the play.
Yeah, it seemed like he got a lot more than that, but he took that handoff pretty deep in the backfield.
Well, the Stowe Bulldog team was challenged at halftime by Coach Portar to come out in the second half and really put a score on the board. Harrington, again, shotgun, blitz to his left. Harrington to carry, left side, and he'll be stopped at the line of scrimmage by a host of Grizzlies.
Yeah, there's at least 4 or 5 Grizzlies there on that stop. But again, just that kind of that philosophy, 11 hats to the ball, and we've really seen that all year.
Yeah, it looked like the first one in there was Parker Ross. So a big 3rd and 5 now for Stowe. Two receivers at the bottom of your screen, one to the top. Now in motion, near side. Now here's Stowe. They like to mix things up with their formations, and Wadsworth doing a nice job adjusting to them.
2 on the – just get it off. Oh,
what a hit.
Jacob Ernest.
Well, that goes back to the preparation that we talked about. The defense recognizing what that offense is doing, the different motions in the backfield. They set up in one set, they go to another, and we adjusted to it very well.
Absolutely. They know their keys. I think Zach Wise comes up and sets the edge there. Jacob, everybody's got their responsibility. Jacob, saw that from the get-go and put a nice stick on the running back.
And Coach Podar at 4th down and 5. He's going to go for it. Why not? Harrington, back to pass. He's flushed out of the pocket, rolling near side. Pass is complete for a 1st down, and that's number 12, Dalen Keeling on the catch.
Yeah, so as you said, Coach making some adjustments at halftime. They're not going to stop playing here, so it's a good positive play that, for them to build off of here.
1st down and 10 now from the 41-yard line. Blitz will be stopped in the backfield, and it looks like Gavin Madigan on the stop.
Yeah, I think even before that, Noah Tefteller shot through the A gap there and, and forced him even deeper in the backfield and allowed the rest of the defense to, to come up for the stop.
No, that's the first time we've called the sophomore's number, but we know he's been in on a number of tackles. A lot of team tackling, and Coach Todd talked about how important team tackling is for this football team. 2nd down now and 13 for Stowe. Harrington will look to throw. He's got a man left side. He's flushed out of the pocket, chased near side. And he'll throw it out of bounds. And a nice job by the sophomore quarterback buying himself some time.
Yeah, and great job for the defensive backs for Wadsworth. It's tough when a play lasts that long. Typically there's a breakdown. The receivers come back to the ball. Great job there. But, in many cases when the quarterback buys that much time, somebody usually comes open.
Well, I thought he had Tyler Harrington on a flag pattern open on the left side, but the pressure from, I believe it might have been Parker Ross on that play, forced Harrington to come to the near side. 3rd down and 13 now for Stowe. Blitz in motion. Pressure coming again. Harrington will let it go. Pass is caught.
Yeah, great pass there.
Joey Lehner on the reception.
Yeah, you could see, Harrington rolled out there to the short side of the field and pointed downfield. He saw that.
Yeah, again, Wadsworth does a nice job with bringing the pressure, and Harrington throwing that really off balance, and it looked like both feet off the ground.
Yeah, great pass there. So, something positive here for the Stowe Bulldogs down about the 31-yard line.
Harrington looking left, now rolling right. Pressure coming. Parker Ross.
It's Zach Wise.
Zach Wise, I beg your pardon, yes. Zach Wise from the defensive end position just chases down Jacob Harrington. And you see fights through his block and then just a bead to Jacob Harrington. So now you're going to get Drew Jones and Kyle Figueroa coming into the defensive lineup, as Bryce Polchek also will come in at the nose. So a little bit of speed defensively at 2nd down and 21 for the Bulldogs. Harrington over the middle. Ball is almost intercepted. The intended target there was number 10, Andrew Rickelman.
Yeah, so we got 3rd and 21 here. Got some different bodies coming out. Obviously the Grizzlies, they want to pitch another shutout here in the second half. Only 8 points given up in the second half. Taking a lot of pride in that stat. I'm sure they are.
Stowe is going to come out with 4 receivers on the right side. Formation we've not yet seen tonight out of the Bulldogs. Harrington looking to throw deep, steps up. Pressure, caught. Short of the 1st down. It's blitz on the reception at about the 25-yard line. He's short, Eric, around 3 yards.
Yeah, another nice job by Harrington. Had 4 guys to the right there. He was looking over there, but pressure from our left side forced him there, and he was able to get his shoulders turned and make a nice pass.
Tefteller and Wise check back in on that Grizzly defense. Luke Ryder at the right end, Tefteller at the nose, Wise at the left end. Harrington, quarterback draw. Left side, he's going to be smothered and short of the 1st down.
Yep.
Now, nice job by that Grizzly defense. The Stowe Bulldogs put together a nice drive, but the Grizzlies do not break.
Yeah, so a good stance there. First opportunity really there for Stowe to put some points on the board, and the defense steps up and gets a big stop.
Well, impressed with how Harrington came out with confidence in the second half, under pressure, under duress, made a couple of big plays for Stowe.
He does, yeah. He's definitely got some talent, just a sophomore. He's good things to come for Jacob Harrington.
Yeah, and for that offensive line. We talked about how young the Bulldogs are, and we've seen that even with the Grizzlies with a young offensive line. It takes time to gel and to work together. Here we go. 1st and 10 now for the Grizzlies at the 23-yard line. It's Figueroa up the middle. I believe that's Figueroa.
Yeah. Yep. About a yard short. Yeah, you talk about the young offensive line for Stowe. Unfortunately, we're missing Hank Aaron Reese here, would be a big part. But him, Evan Crowley, John Byers, this would be their 3rd year. So they kind of went through those lumps a couple years ago.
That'll move the change. Good enough for a first down as Cal Figuere's first run here in the second half. 3 receivers to the near side. Looks like Drew Jones, Colton Levitt, Nathan Metzger. Stack to pass. Levitt will be underthrown. That'll bring up third down and 10.
Led him just a little bit too much. Oh, yeah, Stoops is actually in the
Stoops
quarterback.
is a quarterback.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon. Second down and 10 now for Stoops and the Grizzlies. Stoops will. Pass was intended there for Metzger, thrown low. And that might be a good thing that was thrown low.
Yeah, absolutely, because they had somebody coming through there. Would potentially been a loss of yards there, even had he caught it.
Metzger and Jones on the near side. Levitt in the slot on the near side. Stoops to Figuere, bounces it outside. Figuere just out of bounds and beyond the sticks, and that'll move them for another Wadsworth first down. Well, it's a senior leadership, he's got that vision. We talk about how powerful of a runner he is, but great runners have great vision.
Absolutely, and this is Kyle's third year, so again, got a lot of time as a sophomore, so he's grown and learned and vision, learned the blocking schemes of the linemen there, known where to hit those holes.
Stoops will turn to Coach Todd, and we'll get the play in from the sideline once again. Levitt in motion. Stoops to throw over the middle, caught. First down, Wadsworth. That was a nice pitch and catch. On the catch there was number 82, Caden Shriver, in great stride. Did he receive that ball from Stoops?
He did. Very nice throw there by Stoops.
That was a great route. He breaks to the inside, and Stoops finds him and catches him in stride. First and 10, Wadsworth at the 28-yard line of the Bulldogs. Under a minute now remaining here in the third quarter.
So we've got Stoops in a quarterback. Obviously, he's working. You want to see him have some really nice run here.
Stoops breaks a tackle, touchdown, Grizzlies.
Wow. We got a late flag here.
Yeah, there's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct. I believe that's going to be after the score, though.
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, what about Stoops? I mean, you think he's caught and he's going to be tackled, but he spins out of it. His head moving, his eyes are downfield, and right there he spins out of the tackle.
Yeah.
And that's something we talked about earlier with these Grizzly runners. You've got to hit and stick hard.
You do, and you've got to wrap up. One of the Stowe players tries to tackle with an arm, and you just can't do that. You got to come in and wrap up. It'd be interesting to see if they called a late hit there in the end zone. He was a few yards deep when somebody tried to make a tackle.
Well, there might have been 2 flags on the play if that is the case. And
it looks like they're bringing it back.
Bring it back for holding.
That was
could be offsetting penalties. Yeah, we'll have offsetting penalties on the play. We've got 2 personal fouls against the Bulldogs. We'll find out what's going to happen here.
Yeah, so the timing of those would indicate you would think the touchdown would have counted.
Well, they called the holding before
they
the
did.
touchdown.
Okay, missed the holding.
So they marked the holding off. Now they're going to mark off the
Personal
15
fouls.
yards for the personal foul. So will that be enough for a first down? And it will be.
Yeah, because they're going to tack on 2 personal fouls there.
Yeah, and we will go to the fourth quarter, as that could very well be, my friend, the fastest third quarter at Art Wright Stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely faster than any aspect of the Barberton game.
Yeah,
this
and
year.
I think they're going to give him.
You can't end on a defensive foul. So
Right. So they're going to.
one untimed down here.
First and goal from the 10. Levitt in motion. Stoops will keep it. He stumbles
He's going to keep it.
around left edge, and he'll be stopped at about the 3-yard line, and that will take us to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so we got a running clock there, but, Wadsworth possesses it, keeps the clock, good experience for Stoops getting some reps with the ones. We wind that clock down and go into the fourth quarter, try to maybe cap off one more score and, put a lot of the other number 2s in.
Well, congratulations to our king and queen tonight on homecoming. Jake Schmelzer, homecoming king, and queen is Lotus Lemp.
Lotus Lemp, yeah, Kalik Slemp's sister.
2 scores of interest, one big score, Cleveland Heights and Medina. We've been looking at this, and this report's coming in. Cleveland Heights, last time we looked, 42-25 over Medina, and Barberton and Copley tied at 28.
Both of those somewhat shocking to me, especially the Barberton Copley. Copley's had some major struggles this year, but the Medina Cleveland Heights, that's going to go a long way in the seeding, especially if Wadsworth is able to hold on and get a 1 or 2 seed. We very well could see Medina in the second round, just like we did last year.
Yeah, with a different outcome. I would hope for a different outcome.
I would hope so, yes.
Yeah. And so Wadsworth will have the ball inside the 5, marked at the 3 as we start the fourth quarter. And it has been all Wadsworth here tonight at homecoming. Great crowd here as always at Art-Wright Stadium. Community of Wadsworth coming out to support the Grizzlies, and this will be their last home game. The next home game would be a playoff game, presumably.
Yes, looking forward to that. We've had just phenomenal weather this year.
Looks like Cooper Gray in the backfield in the pistol formation behind Stoops. Gray off the right side. Gray will race to the end zone. Touchdown, Grizzlies. That's Grady Hughes on the carry, number 34. I beg your pardon. Grady Hughes off the right edge finds the end zone for Wadsworth, and pending the PAT, it'll be 49-0. Yeah, we just got confirmation, folks, up here that it was Cooper Gray on the run. We apologize for the confusion, as Dinwiddie's PAT is up and good, and the Grizzlies with a 7-touchdown advantage over the Stow Bulldogs. And
yeah, I think it was number 36, maybe not number 34.
yeah, it's with these black jerseys, it is at times difficult to see the jersey number. We apologize, but
not as bad as the old white jerseys with the silver numbers.
those I will say, those are a announcer's worst nightmare. It is tied in Hudson. Nordonia and Hudson tied at 7.
So that, big game there for Division II, Region 5.
Yeah,
I think they were 4-5 in their seedings.
And what a comeback turnaround that could be for the Knights after being dominated by Wadsworth last week to go into Hudson and win that football game.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously it was another dominating performance for them. They were undefeated. They could very easily get down and let that affect the rest of the season, but clearly not. They're, holding their own against a very talented Hudson team.
Coach Todd has got to be enjoying how his Grizzlies have prepared all week long for this one, and the performance tonight, just dominating fashion, holding the Stow Bulldogs under 100 yards, only 66 yards, I believe, in the first half is what we had reported, and just barely over 100 yards right now as the Bulldogs recorded in the gridiron tonight. It has been domination Grizzlies from beginning.
So a lot of new guys out there on the kickoff team as well.
This is Walker on the kickoff, and he's going to be stopped at about the 25, 26-yard line. And again, that kickoff team, here's a late flag coming in, a couple of them.
Yes, he's Sean Kincaid with his helmet off. Not sure if it was ripped off or...
Now, this is the point in the game where you're the Stow Bulldogs. You're frustrated. You're down 49-0. You certainly wanted to perform much better in this football game, and some tempers might be flaring a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, both coaches need to talk to their players. You don't want to get anybody hurt. You don't want, you know, if a player gets ejected, you know, from a game, they actually have to sit out the next game.
Yeah. So there's a lot. You know, we talk about composure and discipline. We've seen that a lot out of Wadsworth all season long. It's been a pretty disciplined football team.
Yeah, we had a stretch there with a lot of unsportsmanlike penalties, but the last few weeks, again, we've really cleaned it up. I jinxed this a little bit earlier in the first half, but you know, overall, it's been a point of emphasis.
First and 10 now from the 16. Harrington still in at quarterback, as you would expect. Fourth down, back to pass. Got a receiver near side, caught, and it'll be a loss on the play. I beg your pardon. A pickup of about 4.
Yeah, so Troy Myers on the tackle.
Feldman on the reception for the Stow Bulldogs. 2nd down and 7. Feldman in motion. Harrington throws right side. And
wow, Troy Myers again.
That's a great open field tackle.
Yeah. Good
look at the young man, Troy Myers, the junior, 6 foot, 175 pounds.
Yeah, really, you know, got a little bit of time at the end of last week's game and did well, and you know, getting an opportunity here, you know, again tonight.
Third down and 7 now for Harrington and the Bulldogs. Ball at the 19-yard line of Stow. Wadsworth shows pressure coming off the edge. They bring it. Harrington scrambling. Harrington will throw it away. Nope. Caught near side. Feldman. Great patience by Harrington to let Feldman get open in space and found him. I believe that was Keeling. I beg your pardon. That's Keeling.
Yeah, you know, again, a lot of pressure. I think Casey Hill, he had some initial pressure. He rolled out the opposite side and had, you know, was poised and made a great pass on the sideline.
Good enough for a first down for the Bulldogs. Harrington pressured and still on his feet. And he'll go down, sacked. Actually, a short gain on the play. Stop is going to be made by Brad Watson, number 63. Again, Harrington showing some athleticism and some Houdini acts in the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we got a backup, you know, defensive line in there. They're getting some pressure, and he's doing like you said, a Houdini act and making something out of nothing there, getting a couple of yards.
On the carry there is number 28. That's Nick Hosey. Good enough for a Bulldogs first down as we will approach the 7-minute mark remaining here in this football game.
Picking up their tempo here, obviously.
Tyler Harrington on the near side, along with number 22, I believe. That is Kristen Kyer. Harrington flushed out of the pocket again. Reverses field. Harrington will throw.
Nice.
Got a man open. It's Keeler. Keeler down the sideline, and he'll be knocked out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. And what can you say about Harrington? He's keeping plays alive.
He is, and the kid's got some arm talent. That was on the run. He just threw a strike, across his body and put it right in stride.
So Keeling with a couple of big plays on this Bulldog drive as we approach 6 minutes now remaining in this one. Harrington will take it himself around right end. Harrington deep into Grizzly territory, inside the 20 for another Stow. First down.
Design quarterback draw there. And well executed.
This has been the Harrington drive. I mean, he's really kept 3 or 4 plays alive and got the ball down to the 17-yard line.
Obviously, Stowe, they want to get some points on the board here. No one ever wants to get shut out. And he's done some really nice things here on this drive, especially eluding some pressure.
Harrington will look over the middle. Man is open, and stop is made. Tackle made at the 3-yard line. Pass is caught again by Keeling.
I think Dominic Jackson.
Well, he does a nice job just stepping up into the pocket, and Keeling coming back on his route. And ball at the 2, first and goal for the Stow Bulldogs. Harrington will take it himself, and
I think he's in. Yep.
He's in the end zone for a Bulldogs touchdown.
It's a really nice drive there by Jacob Harrington. Some nice throws, eluded a lot of pressure on a number of those, and he was able to punch it in there on the quarterback draw.
He's got a big push up front, both backs going through the hole, providing blocks, and now the PAT on to kick is number 89, Davis Brockmeyer. And the kick is good. So the clock will stop on the change of possession after the touchdown. Some thank yous here for this week. I want to thank the support from the Grizzly families for the Thursday dinner and Saturday breakfast. It sets the Grizzly program apart, and boys are spoiled, aren't they? They eat good.
They eat really well. They have breakfast on Saturday mornings, team dinners on Thursday nights. Yeah, Julie Russell and Kaufman, they've done a phenomenal job this year. It's one of those things that takes a big load off of Coach Todd and the rest of the staff.
And the Diamond Grill hosted their Monday Gridiron meeting, and many thanks to Katie and John Stack for their hospitality. We also want to talk about the Scout Players of the Week. The offensive skill goes to Carlos Inestroza. The offensive box award goes to Bowden Bollinger. Defensive skill, Jaden Gross. And the defensive box, Cooper Krezawati. And those Scout players they're huge in practice during the week.
They are. They watch the film. Their assignment is to replicate what some of the key players in the other team do. And, it's a huge part of that. And it's good that they get the recognition.
Well, we've probably got a new, I wonder if we're going to do the hands team. If Stow's going to onside kick, it looks like it may be set up for an onside kick. So Coach Todd perhaps assembling his hands team.
Yeah, prepping them, for a lot of these guys, this will be new to them. There's no kickoffs in JV football.
That's right.
So, good experience for them. quite a bit of time in here.
Yeah, I think there was a timeout called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a timeout called, and next week we'll be at Fort Hill, Maryland on Saturday. Kickoff is at 1 p.m.
Yeah, it'd be interesting facing them. My understanding, two-time state defending champion, 5 of the last 7 years they've won. It's a smaller school, but obviously a lot of talent.
And they are undefeated this year.
Yes, undefeated this year.
So Davis Broghammer to kick off for Stowe. And they will kick it away. Caught at the goal line. And returning the kick, it looked like it was number 35, Bowden Bollinger.
Freshman. Yeah, he's somebody that you're gonna be calling his name in the years to come. A very talented freshman right there.
That's big time on a Friday night. It's a freshman kickoff return. Bowden Bollinger. First and 10 now from the 21 for Wadsworth with just 3:21 remaining. Cooper Gray up the middle, slices his way through the middle of that Bulldogs defense for a gain of about 4. Bring up second down and 6.
Yeah, so Cooper Gray, we mentioned it earlier, really got 4 talented running backs with Figure, Metzger, Madigan, and Cooper Gray's that 4th one, very good back with a lot of speed.
You look at the Division I, Region I rankings, and really McKinley is just ahead by Wadsworth as the pass is incomplete, intended to number 81, Jackson Urksa from Stoops. Just, I think it's .0011, tenth or whatever, 100,000ths of a point. And at the end of the year, you always have the McKinley-Massillon game.
Yeah, a huge game in Massillon. Just talking to a family member who lives down there, and Massillon really feels this is their best shot, the best team they've had in 20-plus years. So it'll be a tall task for McKinley to win that. Good opportunity, especially if we can get a victory next week in Maryland, to grab a number 1 seed.
Third down and 5 now, ball at the 26-yard line. Stoops left side, and he'll get enough for a first down for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, not sure how it's computed, but those games out of state, there's some computation where that does count for computer points. I mean, Massillons of the world, and St. Ed's, they rarely play anybody within the state. So.
I think Massillon might have played a team from is it Georgia?
Valdosta, Georgia.
Yeah, Valdosta, Georgia. Yeah. Yeah, it probably has less weight on it if you're playing an out-of-state team. Handoff, Gray left side. Gray with Green in front of him. Block downfield, Gray to the 40, to the 30, to the 20. 5, 4, 3, touchdown, Grizzlies. Cooper Gray with his second touchdown of the night.
I could hear his proud dad over there, Kirk, giving the ovation there. But, yeah, there's that speed we talked about with Cooper.
Yeah, 66 yards on the run for Cooper Gray. He gets outside. And what a great downfield block, Eric, here by our wideout on the left side. We'll see if we can see it on the.
That's Carlos Sinistroza, I believe.
Yeah, we just talked about Carlos as a scout team player, and they threw a flag. They're walking this one back. We did not see the flag at the 40. I think they picked it up. But the 66-yard jaunt will go for naught. Holding, and that will do it. As the clock continues to run, the final will be 49-7. Your Grizzlies will go 7-1 on the season as they dominate the Stow Bulldogs from start to finish. Again, next week at Fort Hill, Maryland, that's a 1 p.m. kickoff next Saturday, and October 20th, a 7 p.m. kickoff at North Royalton. Then following that, week 1 of the playoffs. Eric, any final thoughts before we say goodnight?
Grizzlies did what they needed to do. Roll into next week and hope to finish off the season strong and get one of those top 1 or 2 seeds in the playoffs.
Well, we want to thank our cameras upstairs, Aiden Uzinski and Johanna Perino, our director and producer down in the van, John Bernard, making all of this happen. And for Eric Shriver, I am Mike Yelkins. Once again, the final, the Grizzlies 49, the Stow Bulldogs 7. So long, Wadsworth.
One last reminder, remember you can exit all streets outside the stadium, right, due south. All streets are open.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.